A few weeks ago I asked you to send in your questions to me regarding model aviation. And so you did, and today I'm going to answer them all. What is the largest plane in your model collection and what is the smallest? In general, the largest aircraft I have in my collection is this 1:200 scale KLM 787 Dreamliner. And the smallest is this 1:500 scale Luxair -8 Q400. And when we look particularly at the 1:400 scale, which I collect the most, the biggest aircraft is the Antonov AN225 and the smallest one is a KLM Cityhopper Embraer E190. How much money have you spent on the hobby? I've made a video about this, though as of now, on the models I spent roughly 3,000 euros total. And on the ground service equipment, diorama materials, lights, tools and 3D printing equipment, my guess is that I spent about 650 euros on all of that. How to grow a collection and how long would it take? Starting off with collecting, I'd recommend buying a few models of your favorite airline or aircraft type. Mine was for example KLM and the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, so I got the KLM Orange Pride and a KLM 787 Dreamliner to start with. Have a look on websites like the Aviation Megastore to see which models are being sold and whether there is something in between there that is your favorite and that you very much like. Why did you start collecting aircraft models and when did you start? About 5 years ago in the beginning of 2020 I started collecting model airplanes. It all started when I came across an Instagram post of a model airport. This resulted me in visiting the Aviation Megastore. It's a really big store in which they sell aircraft models and luckily I live really close by there. So I took a look there and then I got my first few models. How do you draw realistic gate parking markings? My biggest tip for this is to be patient. Don't rush or else it won't look as realistic. Also use a good marker. I use the Uniposca PC3M thickness markers. Also be sure to use a ruler or protractor and be sure to carefully plan out what you're going to draw before actually drawing it. You can do this by for example making a light marking with a pencil before creating the actual marking. What is the best 1:400 scale brand? I like NG models the most as they create the highest detail models in the 1:400 scale market. Though JC Wings and Phoenix also do a great job and Gemini Jets can be lacking some quality here and there. For example, their KLM models, the blue color is a bit off, though they have a big offering in models, and therefore most of my models in my collection also come from Gemini Jets. In general, for all of these scales, I think NG Models has done the best job. Though for budget friendlier options, JC Wings, Phoenix and Gemini Jets are great too. What is your favorite model in your collection? I really like the KLM Orange Pride 777 and the KLM 787 Dreamliner with the 100 years livery. That are my two favorites, though I like every model in my collection. There are none which I do not like because I believe that would be a waste of money. Only buy models which you like. How long has it taken to build your model airport? Since I've started collecting, I also started building the model airport, so that's from 2020. That means I'm building the airport now for 5 years. And I've come a long way since then. I first started with a 1:500 scale model airport. But after about 2.5 years, I made the switch to the 1:400 scale. This because there is a much bigger offering and market in the 1:400 scale. The models are higher detail than the 1:500 scale ones, as they for example have antennas and more paint details. Will you create a 1:200 scale airport? Yes, I would love to create one. Though first I need to create a budget for buying 1:200 scale models, as they are expensive. And also I will need to make space, as a 1:200 scale airport is very big. What is the rarest or most valuable plane in your collection? I don't really care about rare or valuable models. Though I think this Iceland Air Hekla Aurora Northern Lights livery 757 is quite a rare and valuable model. If money and room weren't a problem, what scale model planes would you collect? Great question. That would definitely be the 1:200 scale. As I just said, the models are greatly detailed and the size is quite big. Therefore you can create a very detailed model airport. Will you do more airport builds? And will you redo old airports? Yes, I will. I have multiple model airports that are yet to be finished, like London City Airport and an extension to the Winter Model Airport. Will you do a model airport building video for cheap budget? Yes, I'd love to create a video in which I show you how to build a realistic looking model airport for the cheapest price possible. What ways are there to display your model airports nicely other than in a model airport? It's important to keep your aircraft models in a safe place, therefore a display cabinet is a great alternative to display a few models. Though it's important to keep your models out of the sun, or else they can discolor due to the UV rays of the sun. How do you take care of your planes? Dust builds up very heavily and very quickly on my models and model airport. Using a microfiber cloth and a cotton swab, I carefully clean all of the dust off my models. Though be careful around the antennas, winglets, engines and other fragile parts, as they might break off easily. Do you plan on making an American airport with American traffic? In a previous video I bought a few narrow-body American aircraft. And those are specifically meant to build an American airport. So therefore the answer on the question is yes. I am planning on making an American airport with American traffic. What concept of airport would you want to build? I would love to build a tropical airport with palm trees and a beach one day. Something kind of similar to St. Martin International Airport. What models are on your wish list? I have a bunch of models that are on my wish list. Mainly narrow bodies, both European and from the USA. JetBlue, Hawaiian, Spirit and Delta from the US, and Air Baltic, Air France, Norwegian and Wizz Air to name a few from Europe. What details add the most realism to my airport? In my opinion, modeling grass is the #1 element to add more realism to your airport, though here is a quick list of things that you could also add. An ILS box, floodlights, scenery like trees, grass, tufts and flowers, a windsock, gate markings, taxiway signs, country flags, advertisements or branding, and blast fences. How do you figure out a layout for your model airport? I am struggling with it. First, I would choose how much space you want to use. You for example have a piece of wood with a small bit of space, like 60 by 40 centimeters, you can already come a long way. Then make a plan on what you want on that space. A runway, taxiway, remote aircraft stands or a terminal. Think about it and gather inspiration from actual airports or model airports from the Airport Review series. And then take some aircraft models and start just playing around with them and plan a layout. Do you have an Aeromexico plane? Not yet, though I would love to have the Aeromexico Quetzalcoatl special livery Boeing 787 Dreamliner. And that's it for this video. Comment down below your video suggestions for future videos. Please consider to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.